Now to start our day with this Wednesday, and I am joined by Superintendent Miles to share some encouraging news with us about our nation's report card that was released this morning.
Yeah, I'm happy to share the NAEP, National Assessment of Educational Progress.
And can you start by explaining to people what NAPE is?
So NAPE is the National Assessment of Educational Progress. It's called the nation's report card. And so it's the only assessment that measures what U.S. students know and can do in various subjects, particularly fourth grade math, fourth grade reading, eighth grade math, eighth grade reading. So it's a check across the nation to see how the students are doing in their proficiency in math and reading. It measures overall student performance in key demographics like subgroups, and then it's a measure of a test over time. I think that they've been taking the NAPE test for over 25 years, 30 years, and so they can measure how our students across the nation are doing over time.
And then the results are categorized in a couple different ways, and so let's just do a quick vocabulary refresh for people. How can they think about the results?
Yeah, so you can think about it in different ways. First of all, what is the national average? So they call it national public districts. So most districts across the country take this assessment, at least the large districts, take this assessment across the country, and so the nation has an average fourth grade reading, average fourth grade math, etc. And then every state has their scores, so states can compare the progress of their student with another state or the other states. And then there's the large city data, and that's the cities with populations over 250,000 people. They also take the NAPE, and then that's the average of that is called the large city data. And then finally, there's a special group called the TUDA districts, Trial Urban District Assessments. There are 26 large urban districts. Houston is one of them, and we've signed up so that we can get our own data. And they're the largest districts in the country usually are the TUDA districts, 26 of them.
Fantastic. So last background question for our community. A representative sample of our students took this test. Can you explain to everyone what that means and why we can trust this data?
Yeah, this is a test administered by NAPE. So they come into the district and they take a random sample of schools, and they select schools in the district randomly. We're such a large district that over 100 of our schools were selected to participate in this National Assessment of Educational Progress. And then within each school, they take a random sampling of students. Fourth grade students to take either math or English. Each student only takes one exam. And then eighth grade students take the either math or reading, and these are randomly selected, purposely random selected students.
So the random selection is intentional. It includes all demographic groups.
Oh yeah, yes. Thanks for bringing that up. Yes, they're purposely choosing special needs students, demographically diverse students, so that it will capture all subgroups.
Thank you for explaining that. So let's talk about what people should know about our results and the meaning we can make of this.
Yeah, the headline is that we stopped the decline in NAPE that has been happening over the last several years and last decade. And we turned the corner, and our students are heading now in the right direction. So we're rebounding from COVID loss. That's the headline. And we're rebounding at a faster rate than the state, the national public districts, and even the large city districts. And in 3 of the 4 assessments, there's fourth grade math, fourth grade reading, eighth grade math, eighth grade reading. In 3 of the 4 assessments, our students are performing as well as they did in 2019. So we've reversed the learning loss in those subjects. And then finally, another highlight, and you'll see a little bit of data around our special populations, so our black and brown students and our economically disadvantaged students and our special ed students are doing much better than their peers in similarly large districts.
Fantastic. So this is really incredible for HISD because our lion's share of students are economically disadvantaged. Just to remind our community, that's 80% of our kids.
That's right.
So let's go a little bit deeper into these celebrations. What is the major highlight from 4th grade and 8th grade?
Yes, especially for our subpopulations. In 4th grade reading, for example, our black students reversed the historically declining trend and increased 8 scale points. Now that's a huge increase in scale points, and it's much larger than the other large cities, the national public, and even Texas, which saw a decline in performance. So we grew and the other districts declined. In 8th grade reading, our students with disabilities improved 10 scale points, while their peers also saw a decrease. So we're moving in the right direction while all the other districts are moving in the wrong direction with regard to our subpopulations.
This is really exciting for our teachers and for our students. Let's, before we close out, let's just walk people through this visual. I love this visual because it really puts how HISD did in context. Can you explain more?
Yes, so if you look at this graph, you'll see the 4 assessments I've been talking about and what the growth is in math reading for 4th grade and math and reading for 8th grade. And notice where the blue bar, Houston is the blue bar on the left-hand side of each set. And the national public, so the nation's growth is the yellow bar, large city is green, and Texas is blue. And so the whole nation did well in 4th grade math. It turned the corner in math and grew in their proficiency. And we grew the most in 4th grade math, better than the other cities. In 4th grade reading, the proficiency level in the country went down, as you can see there, and Houston reversed that and grew in their proficiency for 4th grade reading. 8th grade math, we also grew. We grew better than the nation, and tied the large city and grew better than Texas. And then 8th grade reading, you can see the nation went down in their proficiency. We went up by 2 points. So I have to say this is good news. I mean, we still have a long way to go, but obviously you can see here that we've turned the corner, and we're no longer declining, but we're now headed in the upward direction on proficiency, and that's really good news for our students. I said last year that one set of data after the STAR came out and the accountability ratings, that one set of data does not make a trend, because we really knocked it out of the park. We grew while most other districts in the state declined. Well, we're starting to rack up these data points. So at the end of last year, the NWEA was good. The beginning of the year, our NWEA MAP assessments, we'll talk more about that. We'll have the data presented in a few days. But the beginning of the year was good, and just learned that our middle of year MAP assessments was also good. So it's starting to show in multiple measures, not just STAR, not just state accountability, not just NWEA, but now with NAEP, that the students are headed in the right direction, and we're making great gains.
It's really exciting, and I think it's just really important to note we are such a big district, and moving students this much over such a large amount of kids is really, really tough in public ed. So I hope our community feels really encouraged by these results, knowing that this is just the beginning of what our students deserve.
Yeah, and I let me stamp that by saying, that the teachers are putting in an enormous amount of work, and the students are also working hard. The whole system has to work hard to get this kind of gains this fast for a district this size.
Absolutely, and your leadership is key to that, so thank you. We have so much to unpack today. This is just the beginning of the data that we get to discuss. I encourage our community to tune in at 10:30 for a press conference where the superintendent will dive into more data and answer some more questions. And then as the week goes on, we look forward to talking to principals, teachers, parents, and our school board about this data and learning from it in the months to come. Thank you again, Superintendent Miles, and congratulations to our teachers and students.